Welcome back, gentlemen. As modern men, it is very, very easy to get confused on what we should be doing, all the skills we should have, because there's so much information up there. But what I'd like to do here is just give you the 5 key things that you need to be a very successful modern man and go forth and conquer in the world. So without wasting any time, let's jump straight in and get into it, lads. Number 1, combat sports. You need to be dangerous, not reckless, but dangerous. You need to be someone who, when he goes out into the world, can defend himself and can be ready for any situation that may arise. That doesn't mean you go to a bus stop and you start yelling at people and trying to pick a fight. No, 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 no. Very naughty. You don't look for that violence. You're not looking for a confrontation. You do anything you can to avoid it, but if it happens, you're ready for it. And the greatest benefit you can get from this as well is not just the physical of when something happens, when someone starts to throw down, you can deal with it, but the mental confidence you get from it and the mental strength you build up from getting to the combat gym, getting your face punched in and going back anyway, that's the real key here. And that's the most helpful thing we can get from this for our everyday life. And so it absolutely matters because physical strength, physical ability translates to our mental strength. The more capable we are, the more capable we feel, the more we know we can do, the more mentally strong we're going to be, the easier it's going to be for us to go out, take that risk, go after something great, and go achieve something in our lives. And when you're genuinely a threat, when you're genuinely someone that people know, okay, this guy can mess me up, or this guy walks like he can mess me up, it's going to change the way people look at you, the way people perceive you, and the way people treat you without you ever having to throw a punch at anyone. It's absolutely fantastic stuff. When I went to Thailand, I was a skinny, weak kid, spent 6 months training Muay Thai, and then when I came back, because I lived in a kind of a rough town, lots of bogans walking around. A bogan's Aussie slang just for undesirables. Anyway, as I'd walk around, I work in the supermarket, and I found I was looking people in the eyes. Normally I wouldn't do that beforehand. I'd be looking down, trying to avoid confrontation, because if one of them yells at me, what if he says, "Oi, what are you looking at?" Then I have to be like, "Ah!" But not anymore. You'd lock eyes with them now, and instead of them yelling at me, if they're in my way, they go, "Oh, sorry," and move out of the way. So it's a very real-world example of how things start to change just when you walk around that confidence, because you know you're good if someone tries to throw down. It ain't no problem no more, son. Second, networking. Build power through your people. Try and build alliances around you. Build a strong group of boys. Build a strong group of friends. If you're struggling to do that right now, the best thing I did was when I went to Thailand, because suddenly I'm surrounded by all these lads who have the same vision, the same goal. They're not afraid of suffering a little bit to achieve something great. They know what they're here for. They know what they want. They know where they're going to be in 6 months, and ain't nobody going to stop them. And when you're surrounded by people like that, you catch on. It's a little bug that gets into you. And vice versa. If you're surrounded by boys who just want to smoke and skip school or whatever it is, that's going to catch on to you as well. It doesn't matter how mentally strong you are. Eventually, it's going to seep into your programming. So when I say networking, think of it as making friends, but making good friends. I'm part of a network here in Bangkok and globally of pretty high-performing entrepreneurs. And it's not like we go into a boardroom, we sit down and we type on our laptops. Last time we met up, we went to Topgolf, mucked around, and it was just smashing balls around while occasionally talking about business. It's not a scary thing. It's just a friendship, but a better friend group, people who are actually going to build you up. And if you have these good group of friends, if you have these people who like you, you're going to get so many more opportunities, because people, unfortunately, are completely biased on who they like, not just based on ability. You see it all the time. I saw it all the time in promotions in the company I used to work for. The people who were getting promoted were the people who were liked, not necessarily the best people for the job. So bear that in mind. If you're a lone wolf out there trying to piss everyone off and just forge your own path, you're going to have a much harder time doing that. So consider making some friends. And in terms of how we're going to do that, we're going to work in ourselves. We're going to work in the way we talk. We're going to work in the way we carry ourselves. We're going to start to act like a high performer and embody that person we want to be. If we do that, people will perceive us as that, and then we can start to hang around with better groups of people, and we can start to get their attention. Because you know if someone walks up to you. You know if they're just wasting your time or if they actually know what they're talking about. And so do other people. So if we work on ourselves, it's a fantastic way to get a foot in the door and go from there. However, it's also very important that we have some value we can give. If you're going to join an established network of people, which is the best way to fast track your progress, because I can go to our group chat and say, hey, I've got this problem. Does someone specialize in this? A boy picks up and he says, yep, we got it sorted. I've got an expert straight away who can fix that problem for me. But if you're going to be part of something like that, you need to have something to bring. You need to have a skill. You need to be able to solve someone else's problem. So maybe you've already got one. If you don't, when you're building up your business, get really good at a skill. And that's something you can offer other people. And then you can help them, they can help you, and everything becomes easier. Third pillar, dating. Young lads get this wrong a lot of the time. I got this very wrong when I was a young lad. The rule of dating is attract, don't chase. We're not going out there to try and find a woman. We're not going to grab a net from the cupboard and try and rope her in and say, please be my girlfriend. Not going to work. She's going to dry up quicker than the Sahara Desert, and we're going to be left with no poontang. Thankfully, it's very simple. We don't need to learn dating techniques. We don't need to learn what does a woman think? How do we trick her into liking me? We're just going to work on ourselves. We're going to become someone that women are going to want, someone that women are going to like, and then we start to get our pick of the herd. Then they start to come to us and we go, not that one, maybe this one. Boom, I like you, sorted. Much easier way to do it, and we're only focusing on ourselves. We're not trying to stress about, oh, what does this person think? Ooh, how can I get this girl to like me? You may very likely be at a stage in your life where the woman that you want, the caliber of the woman that you want, is not going to be interested in you. And that's okay, just accept that. But understand you can fix that by going to the gym, getting your money up, fixing the way you talk, fixing the way you act. When you focus on leveling up in these areas, suddenly you might not be interested anymore. There might be an even hotter woman, an even nicer person out there for you, and you can just pick them and you're good to go. When you're a high level person yourself, then you can attract a high level woman. Once you've done that though, that's where the real work starts. That's where you're going to be pretty careful. When you get into the relationship, don't think, okay, it's over now. I can go back to my boyish ways and start squabbling and being needy and trying to treat her like a mother. That's not going to work. We've got to be the emotional rock in the relationship. We've got to be the person that she can rely on and the unreactive one. So if she comes to us with a problem, we can be like, all good, sorted. Even if we're panicking inside, doesn't matter. We've got to give her that reassurance. It's all good, babe. I've got it. Don't worry about it. Lead the interactions with her. Say, okay, we're going to go out here on a date, etc. Don't worry, babe. Sorted. She loves that, getting our masculine energy. The most successful frame I ever had with a woman was back in my college years, going back a little while ago. And she used to test me. She used to ask silly things. She used to complain about silly things. And she used to pretend to be offended over things that didn't matter and really had nothing to do with me. And then one night she was complaining about something in the car. And I said to her, I'm sure you'll get over it. Because she thought I said something nasty when I wasn't. That might sound like it would just get her running away. Actually, it did the opposite. She respected me massively for it. I didn't try and be sorry. I didn't try and apologize for something which I knew I hadn't done wrong. I just said, I'm sure you get over it. And that was sorted. That was literally it. And she was more obsessed with me than anyone else that I'd ever said, I love you, babe. I'm sorry to. This is ruining my vocal cords. Anyway, we're going to attract. We're going to be respectful. And then if she does act a little bit silly, we're just going to call it out. We're not going to deal with that. We're going to stay respectful with it, but we're going to let her know that's not on anymore. Next, solutions. I haven't written problem solving here very intentionally. We don't even think of problems anymore. All we see in our life is solutions. When chaos hits, when our life begins to get a little bit stormy, we have to be the person to anchor it down because the storm's not going to go away. If we don't put our anchor down, we're going to start drifting in our boat all about the place with no clue what's going on. And the longer we wait to anchor it, the worse it's going to get. Because we are going to be judged by how we handle pressure, not just from other people, but also the quality of our life. If you can't handle pressure, you're really going to struggle to achieve great things. If you can handle pressure and you just go, whoa, that hurt for a moment, and then straight away you're looking for a solution and you're pushing through, that's the quickest way to make all your problems disappear. A lot of people, and myself included, I still struggle with this sometimes. If something comes up and it feels a bit much at times, maybe I want to go, okay, I'm going to take an early night. I'm going to scroll on my phone. I'll come back to it tomorrow. But then when I wake up tomorrow, I'm starting the day already with these problems on my mind that I could have sorted out yesterday if I'd just taken a deep breath and pushed through it. So it really is just about getting those problems solved straight away. We're solution thinkers now. Solutions are our middle name, not problems. We don't even think about problems anymore, just opportunities. And so when a challenge comes up, we're not going to run away from it. We're not going to shy away from it. We're not going to try and push it into the kitchen cupboard and lock it in there. We're going to smack it in the face. We're going to find a solution and we're going to go back to being the man. Finally, and this is the key to having everything you want in your life and being an absolute specimen, self-education for everything. You're looking for your own solutions, you're looking for your own ways out, you're living your own life, you've got your own visions, everything is now coming from you. You do not need another person to give you anything. That's not what we're here for. It doesn't mean you can't accept help from someone if you're feeling a bit down. You absolutely should do that. But we're not relying on anyone. We're not relying on our parents to send us money. We're not relying on anyone else for anything. We're giving. We're the ones creating and putting out into the world. We're the ones that people can rely on. That's our job now. And unless you plan on winning the lottery, which I wouldn't recommend betting on that, you have to do this. You have to assume absolute responsibility. We're going to look at everything in our life now as a personal problem. No matter what comes up, we're going to say, okay, how can I fix this? What can I do next time in order to avoid this? What can I learn from this? Good or bad, everything is now our fault. It may not always feel like it, but if we accept this mindset, our life can only get better because of it. My life changed drastically. Just look at me. Look at my old photos. As soon as I accepted complete responsibility and stopped trying to be a victim at anything at all, my life only got better and easier because there was no self-pity. There was no misery in my life. There was just solutions. Hard-fought battles, yes, sometimes, but just winning. That's all it was anymore. And there is no defeat. There are no losses. If you feel like you've lost, it's because you're only halfway through the battle. We're going to be self-sufficient. We're going to keep pushing, and eventually you will come out victorious. And especially now, boys, it has never, ever, ever been easier to get filthy rich and completely successful, jacked, tan, all that good stuff than right now. You have access to absolutely everything you need for free on the internet. Buying courses is good. You don't even need to do that. If you know where to look and you look for long enough, you can find all that information for free anyway. So there's no longer any excuse for not living the life you want. There's absolutely no excuse. It becomes a choice now because we've got all this information available to us. If you say you can't afford coaching, Yabu, sucks to be you, that information's still out there for free if only you go look for it. If you feel like you don't want to go look for it and you want to watch a movie instead, that's fine, but that's on you. Everything is now our fault and we take complete responsibility. So I hope this video helped you, lads. Start implementing these 5 things seriously in your life now, and I guarantee you'll thank me in a week because everything will be going better. So smash a like, subscribe, share it to your nan, share it to your mum, share it to your aunt's pet dog, Sharon. Do what you got to do. Drop a comment, let me know what you thought, and as always, lads, I'll see you in the next video. Woo!